What's happening, VC? Erik the Viking back again. Yeah, I've been loving all your comments and everything, and on my American Psych videos I put up. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I don't know why I haven't done one sooner. I don't know how big you guys are on Scott Walker, but I'm a pretty big fan myself. I know at the time he was only really big in England. I don't think his albums did that well over there at the time. I'm not too sure, I could be wrong. So yeah, I'm just going to show a couple of his albums, the early ones. I've got some of the Walker Brothers stuff, but I'm not going to really show that. Just because I've got the first two albums and I haven't got the third. No, I've got the first and third. I haven't got the second. No way, I haven't got the third one. So to me, it's not really complete. So yeah. So we'll start with Scott 1, which came out in 1967. Great album. Just beautiful work of art. You know, lush arrangements, all that sort of thing. Recorded in London. Philips label. I think the American releases had different sleeve designs too. This is a stereo copy, harder to find than the mono in England. His albums are very much in demand now. I mean, he's very much in fashion at the moment, especially since that film came out a few years ago. Yeah, I mean, this has got excuse me, such classics on it as Montague Terrace in Blue, My Death, Jack Brel track, The Big Hurt, Always Coming Back to You, one of my favourites, Amsterdam, Such a Small Love, brilliant stuff. From the same year we have Scott 2, which I only got recently. It took me quite a while to track one of these down in nice condition, and this is another stereo one. But it's just hard to find these in nice condition, and this has also got the insert with it, which is quite unusual for something that from 1967. You didn't often see inserts with records then, especially in England. Yeah, so this, I mean, the first two albums were both in the top 10, you know, in the charts. They were pretty big over here, but most people would have bought the monos because that's what most people played back then. Yeah, this is equally as good as Scott 1, really. It's got another favourite Scott track of mine on it, Plastic Palace People. You've also got Best of Both Worlds, Jackie, Next, later covered by Alex Harvey. Windows of the World. Yeah, really nice album. And a beautiful sleeve. Again, this, I know this definitely had a different sleeve design in America because I've seen one. 1968, or I think it's 69. Wait a sec. 69. I always thought it was 68. Scott up to the ante even more with Scott 3. Much more daring album. All the compositions on this are by Scott as well. The first out. No, sorry, that's wrong. Nearly all of them are. Beautiful cover again. Nice laminated sleeve. Nice 60s eye makeup there. Scott in the reflection. Again, we got a lot of glare on this. Yeah, great album. This is actually the first Scott album I picked up. This was another one that was in the charts, but this always seems to sell for around £50 in good condition now. Yeah, beautiful. And this has got Copenhagen on it. It's Raining Today. Butterfly, Big Louise, Rosemary. Oh, they're all amazing, man. 30th Century Man, If You Go Away. And this has also got, which came with it, an original album review newspaper cutting, which is nice. Unfortunately, it hasn't got the date or anything on it, but it's definitely from around the time. It's got an old Denson advert on the back. That's pretty cool. It's got an original review, a good review as well. I'll speak about what's playing in the background in a minute when we get to it. Scott 4, his masterpiece, really. This is one of the hardest Scott albums to find. And as you can see, it's a nice copy apart from this little mark here. really hard to find with a nice sleeve, as it's not laminated. It's usually really worn. I did actually have another copy before this, which was pretty battered. And you know, this is the funny thing about this album. It's his best album, and it didn't sell. It wasn't even in the charts. No one knows why. Some say it's because it's credited to Scott Engel, which was his real name, and not Scott Walker. But I'm sure people would have seen it in the store, in the shops, and known who it was. He looks exactly the same as he does on the other albums. It's just one of those things. I guess maybe he was going out of fashion. But this is you know, it's just brilliant. This is he wrote everything on this. It's just amazing. All the tracks are good on this. You got the Seventh Seal, On Your Own Again, which is one of my favourites. The World's Strongest Man, Angels of Ashes, Boy Child, Hero of the War, The Old Man's Back Again, Duchess, Get Behind Me, and Rhymes of Goodbye, which is the only one that lets the album down, in my opinion. It's just a bit naff, I think, but apart from that, it's just a really strong album. And yeah, after that, according to Scott himself, he just sort of thought, well, if you guys aren't interested, I'm not going to write anymore. That's true. So in 1970, he brought out Till the Band Comes In. Although I think, yeah, one side of this is, no, hang on. I'm sure one side of this is covers and one side are written by him. Yeah. So the side of the covers is pretty shite, to be honest. No, it's not bad. It's all right. But the first side's really good. But this is often overlooked, this album. And this is rarer than Scott. No, actually, it's not. At one time, it was going for more money than Scott 4, but now not as expensive. 1970, beautiful Philips label there. Yeah, it's still not a bad album. And then through the rest of the 70s, he sort of just released the odd album. I haven't got any of them. They've never been reissued because he's kind of disowned them. Apparently, they're quite country and westerny, so and not very good according to most reviews. So I've just avoided them, and it's hard to find them anyway. They're called Any Day Now, Stretch, and We Had It All, I think. You just don't see them though. So what you're hearing now is when the Walker Brothers got back together in '75. Now I know I said I weren't showing any Walker Brothers, but this needs mentioning. In 1978, they put out Night Flights, which over the last few years has got a massive cult following. I think they'd already pretty much broken up by the time this came out, because there's 4 tracks by Scott, 4 by John, and 2 by Gary, the drummer, who can't sing. Sorry, Gary. But the 4 tracks you're hearing in the background are the Scott tracks, which are just phenomenal. You've got Shut Out, Fat Mama Kick, Night Flights, and The Electrician. The Electrician was recently on the Bronson film. It's the original UK pressing on GTO. This was not available for long, because apparently the label shut down after it came out. And this was just they had to make. They were under their contract to make this album, which is why it's the way it is. But John's tracks are okay. Gary's ones are not very good. But Scott's ones are just brilliant, and they're the first 4 tracks, and it kind of showcases what was to come later on in Scott's music career, which is a lot more experimental. I mean, all these the 4 tracks they got quite a funky beat and that, but they're just really out there. Weird synths and guitar solos, sax solos. This album's worth it. You know, I paid £50 for this last year at a record fair, which was quite cheap. It's just so hard to find. I doubt I'll see another one, so I'm pleased to have that. No, I think the guy had 50 on it. I think I got it for 40 in the end. So yeah, but an interesting thing which a lot of people don't know is that if you can't afford the album, or you can't find the album, GTO also issued Scott's tracks as a single, a little EP. Now some came in a sleeve, but this is a promo which just came in this company sleeve. I've never seen the picture sleeve in the flesh, but I got this for $5 last week on eBay, so you can get this easily. It's usually under the name of Shutout, because that is the first track. Yeah, and the tracks are in a different order, but yeah, it's a much cheaper option. I don't know why this doesn't go for more money, because You'd think it would, as it's a single and everything, you know. And you know how those 45s always play pretty loud. I've just dropped it. Luckily I caught it. So yeah, I just don't think many people know that this even exists. I only heard about it because I was chatting to one of the guys when I was going into one of the shops I used to work at about 2 years ago, and I was talking to him about Scott, and I said, "Oh, have you got Night Flights, blah blah blah?" He said, "Oh no, I've always avoided the album because of the other tracks." He said, "I've got the EP instead," and I said, "EP?" And that's what I heard about this. And apparently in America, The Electrician, which you're hearing now, was also released as a single. God knows why, because it had no chance of getting anywhere. Because it's just such a bizarre track. If you can hear what's going on, it's really dense at the beginning. Pretty scary if you're listening to it with the lights off. So yeah, guys, you know, if you're after Scott's tracks from Night Flights, get the single. And I don't have Scott's last 2 albums, Tilt or The Drift, on vinyl just because they're so expensive. I remember The Drift coming out, and I wasn't that into Scott then. That was in 2006, so I've only got into Scott in the last few years. And The Drift scared the hell out of me, and I liked it. And that was my first proper introduction to Scott Walker. Although I'd always known about the Walker Brothers, and I had like the singles "Make It Easy on Yourself" and all that. Anyway, 1985, I think, 84. Scott came back with The Climate of Hunter on Virgin. Not a bad album. This was actually my mum's copy. And again, this is going for crazy money now. People just anything Scott, people just go crazy for in this country. I think it's the same everywhere now with Scott stuff because he's so good. Yeah, this album's still worth checking out. If you're not a fan of that sort of typical 80s production, maybe don't bother. But no, it's still pretty out there and experimental. But Tilt and The Drift are completely insane. They're just all over the place, industrial and just weird. I wish I had them on vinyl, but I just can't find them anywhere. And when I do, they're usually over £100 each. It's a shame, really. I'm sure I'll get them one day. I just won't pay that for them. So, guys, that's my Scott Walker collection. Quite a shorter video compared to what I've been doing recently, but I haven't got that much time this evening. I'm moving house finally. I know I keep mentioning it, on Saturday, so I won't have internet for a week or two, so I won't be able to post any videos, but I will still be commenting. I can do it on my phone, so I'll still be around. But yeah, I'm going to try and post another video tomorrow. Not sure what it's going to be yet. Might be another jazz one, not sure. But guys, as ever, thanks for your comments, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Very special thanks to Glass Orchid for your shout out on your awesome psych video. I see that you're starting to go through the alphabet. It's quite scary that it's a half-hour video and you've only done the letters A and B. You've got some great stuff, man. Also, thanks to Derek for your shout out on your last video as well. Glad you're enjoying my videos, man. I mean, like I said before, it's you that got me into this thing, so it's really cool. So yeah, it'd be nice to hear your comments on Scott, because I haven't seen any other videos on Scott Walker on here. So and guys, if you're not into Scott, get into Scott. It's simple as that. You won't regret it. So guys, yeah, Erik the Viking signing off. Have a good evening. It is 9:20. Wow, I didn't realise it was that late already here. I think me and my girlfriend are going to settle down now and watch some telly. I've actually injured myself. I went out last night, watched the football. I actually quite enjoyed it because I used to like football when I was younger, and yeah, I kind of forgot how much of a thrill it is, watching. I mean, because my dad supports Chelsea. And it was a Chelsea game, and I think it just reminded me of watching football with my dad and things like that. It was good fun, but the worst thing was that yeah, you can hear I'm in pain. I was I was actually sober at this point, and I just slipped and landed right on my arse, and it wasn't just a slip. I went flying in the air and landed on my arse, and I've got a bruised tailbone. I think my back's okay, but I can't walk too well, and I'm stiff as hell. So yeah, I'm looking forward to working tomorrow. It's been my day off today. Don't know how work will probably be interesting, and I'm moving, so it's good timing. So yeah, just gonna have a nice night in tonight and watch The American Office. It's much better than the English one. So yeah, guys, again, thanks for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow, I promise. Peace.